Next Saturday here on NBC. We suggest you check your local listings. Robert Parrish will be the topic of a one-on-one conversation with our man, Ahmad Rashad. And Ahmad telling me that spent some time with Robert at his home here in Boston. The chief telling Ahmad he always wore 00 going back to his days in high school. Here's D. Brown. And rebounded by Barkley. But Parrish says he was not a very good player back in high school. He said in those days they called him double nothing when he wore 00. He's come a ways since then.
He certainly has.
Barkley off the dribble, got the step, made it look very easy against Kevin Gamble.
A different type of isolation that time. Instead of putting him out on the wing or on the box, they put him at the top of the circle and let him go one-on-one from there.
Barkley has 15. Sixers now within 3. Barkley not going for the fake. And Bird hits over him.
He told us yesterday, the one thing I'm going to do is make Larry Bird put the ball down on the floor, going to his right hand. He doesn't shoot it as well. That time he didn't put it down at all. Standstill shots, he'll knock them out on you.
Celtics 42, 76ers 37. Here's Turner with a standing 3. Hit one earlier. Andre Turner with his second three-pointer. He's 42% from downtown.
And the Celtics are going much quicker now to double-team Barkley. They're not letting him put it on the floor. As a result, the other players are going to wind up with open shots as the Celtics try to recover and rotate on defense.
The matchup is now Bol on Parrish. Bol jumping out. Gamble shot deflected. Lewis stripped. Good play by Turner. Now Barkley met by Gamble. Gilliam setting the pick. And Gilliam had it batted away by Parrish. 3 on the 24. Turner. Rebound Anderson. And the game is tied at 42.
They certainly could use a little bit more offensive rebounding right now. As you mentioned earlier, they're not a real good overall rebounding team, the 76ers. Offensive rebounds, next to last, 26th in the league. Only Barkley seems to go to the offensive boards for them.
Bird. And he was hit by Barkley. It does not like the call. That is his first.
And Barkley is jamming Bird so tight, he wants him to put the ball down on the floor. He doesn't want to give him that standstill jumper. As a result, the foul for getting his hands on his hips, closing up too much on the potential shooter. There's a little push right there to take him out of his rhythm.
Larry Bird, and 89% free throw shooter among the leaders. Charles Barkley sitting down, leads with 15, 7 for 11 from the field. Celtics 44 and the 76ers 42. This is the 4th meeting of the season between these two clubs. They'll play once more in Philly next month. Sixers have won 2 of 3. Philly winning twice at the Spectrum and Boston winning here. Anderson beat Ed Pinckney, who just came on. And Parrish unloads. Bird with the opening. The steal by Brown. Manute is back. Here's Brown giving it off. Pinckney. And Bol on the rebound.
Good job by D. Brown. He brought it right at Bol, made him step up, then kicked it off to his open teammate for the open jump shot.
Anderson. Yes. Ron Anderson has tied the game at 44. Ron Anderson, the hero of Philadelphia's double overtime win in Atlanta last Tuesday. Not usually a three-point shooter, but he hit 2 in clutch fashion. Bird with the hook pass. Parrish over Bol.
And if there's one guy that's going to get it up high enough, it's Robert Parrish with that special release he has right at the top as he extends his arm.
Bol for 3. Well, last season, you recall, Don Nelson of Golden State encouraged Manute to shoot the three-pointer. Jim Lynam does not share that view. It was pointed out last night.
He had a little different feeling about that, but Manute did check with him during the press conference to see if it was okay.
During the press conference in which the trade was announced in Philadelphia, when Manute was asked shooting threes as a Sixer. Bird for three. It has been a shooting gallery from downtown. The ball awarded to the 76ers.
And the rest of the Sixers need to get to the glass. They're getting beat up by the Celtics.
Timeout called. We'll be back in Boston in a moment.
Of all the extraordinary new automobiles that come to America, only one was awarded Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT. With all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, ABS brakes, and 300 horsepower. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Import Car of the Year. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Darling, after 10 years, the only thing I'd change about you is your clothes.
Bugle boy.
Why don't you try this one on first?
Today, NBC's coverage of the greatest event in skating continues with the sensual artistry of the ice dancing final.
Then tonight at 7, 6 Central, skating's greatest event reaches its dramatic conclusion with the beauty and emotion of the ladies' final.
The World Figure Skating Championships, only on NBC.
Bob Costas, along with Pat Riley in New York. We're standing by with the Prudential Halftime Report.
And Bob, earlier this week I visited with Larry Brown, the well-traveled coach of the San Antonio Spurs. We're going to bring you part of that conversation during our halftime show.
And, of course, the insiders, Bob Ferry and Peter Vesey, will also join us, all coming up at halftime. Right now, back to Marv and Mike at Boston Garden. See you in a few minutes.
All right, Bob, Pat, thanks very much. Larry Brown in San Antonio facing Detroit in San Antonio next Sunday, and we'll be there to bring it to you. San Antonio and Utah in a virtual tie for first in the Midwest. The Spurs percentage points in front. That is the story next week. Chuck Daly and the Pistons, who have been having their ups and downs, going up against Larry and the Spurs.
Two of the better dressed coaches in the NBA, if not the top two right now.
Boy, you seem to say that begrudgingly, though.
I do.
Rick Mahorn has returned. Boston with a 46-44 lead on the 76ers with 2.5 remaining in the first half. Celtics have missed 7 of their last field goal attempts. Bird for Parrish. Moving down low on Mahorn. Tries to keep him outside, but could not. Rick Mahorn telling us that he looks to push Parrish further and further out. Would like to see him shoot the jumper from as deep as possible. Anderson. Mahorn keeps it alive and then shoots. Rick Mahorn with his first field goal. Boston by 2.
If they're going to match up with Larry Bird on Rick Mahorn at the defensive end of the floor, then Philly will turn around and start going to Mahorn in set plays or down posting up low.
Lewis off a double team. Forced it with Parrish right there.
And that's Parrish's 11th rebound in the game thus far.
Hawkins getting down, goes right at third. Percy Hawkins back on the floor, and he now has 15.
The Celtics may need to start jamming the rebound or the man taking it out of bounds to try and slow up the Sixers from getting it back in so quickly.
D. Brown, he's on fire. 3 out of 4, 6 points. Boston 52 and Philadelphia 48. Andre Turner, he's hit 2 from downtown for Armin Gilliam. Parrish from Brown.
Great lead pass, great catch on the run by the Chief.
Celtics by 6. Jim Lynam calling for a 20.
At 37 years old, how can this guy still be ranked in the top 10 in the league in rebounding? But he finds a way to get it done. His 11th rebound thus far in the game. And then he takes off and runs the floor, stretches out, catch, conversion. We take it for granted, those little things, but he just does it so well. That's what makes them so effective.
So with 56 seconds remaining in this first half, it's Boston by 6. Well, that's a trade that the Golden State Warriors would like to file away. Maybe the worst in the history of the NBA in terms of going in one direction. Robert Parrish and the #1 pick, Kevin McHale, coming to Boston. It turned the Celtic franchise around. Charles Barkley is back in. 5 on the shot clock. Barkley way off from downtown. Have to wonder. And Barkley is called for the reach-in, and he's hearing it from the crowd. You hear the said about many players, and in Barkley's case, it's been said before, perhaps the worst thing that could have happened to Charles was that he hit his first from downtown, because since then, he has had his difficulties.
Let's go back 3 seasons ago. He shot almost 160 three-point attempts. Last year, when they won the division, he shoots only 90-some. Again, this year, his numbers are back up in three-point attempts. Maybe it's a little bit better for the 76ers if he keeps it down close.
Here's Pinckney getting the good position. Pinckney on the follow, and he's fouled. That's 3 on Barkley.
Offensive rebound. Pinckney gets it up, goes right back after with the long arms. And now Barkley, who just committed a foul in the backcourt out of frustration, commits his third. They'll have to get him out of the game now to save him for the second half.
And a man who has not been receiving the playing time, Kenny Payne, in his second year out of Louisville, will come on for these final seconds. Charles Barkley, departing after picking up his third, sits down with 15 points. Kenny Payne, a #1 draft pick last year at Louisville. He played in the shadow of Purvis Ellison. Last season, played only a total of 216 minutes. And once again this year, not seeing the action.
He can really shoot it, though. Once he gets it going, face-up shooter. Give him a good look at the basket. He'll knock out the bottom of the net.
Extends the Boston lead to 56-48. Philadelphia will hold for a final shot as we come up on 10 seconds left in the half. Hawkins played very tightly by Shaw. Down to 5. Here's Payne, who fires one. And that will do it. Not a good finish for the first half for the Sixers. Charles Barkley, the man who has carried this ball club and has 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in the first half, picked up 2 quickies in the final minute and had to leave after collecting his third foul. Bob and Pat coming up at halftime. The Celtics on top.
The world champions pay a visit to Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. The NBA on NBC next Sunday.
Well, Mike, you can relate to this. You have faced this kind of barrage in the past where the Boston Celtics will go on a terrific run at the end of the quarter.
In this building, we used to always remind the team, remember, the Celtics like to finish the quarters with runs. They like to get the crowd involved going into those timeouts. 20-4 to end those 2 quarters in the first half.
Celtics with a 56-48 lead as we get underway in the third. The high point of the game, Charles Barkley with 15, Hersey Hawkins with 15, Barkley 7 for 12 from the field. Here's Gilliam and Barkley. able to cut it to a 6-point Boston lead. So Barkley now 8 for 13 for his 17 points. Larry Bird, the high man for Boston, 5 for 12 in the first half for 12 points. 10 apiece for Gamble and Parrish. Lewis with 8, all of Reggie's points in the first quarter.